2026 all-new Suzuki Burgman 650, the MAXI-SCOOTER comeback nobody saw coming. Imagine waking up one morning to discover that Suzuki has just unleashed a completely reinvented Burgman 650, and suddenly, the MAXI-SCOOTER world is no longer playing by the old rules. The legendary Burgman name has been associated with comfort, practicality, long-distance touring, and effortless urban performance for years, but what if Suzuki decided it was time to bring that formula into a new era? The 2026 all-new Suzuki Burgman 650 is exactly the kind of machine that could make riders stop and ask one question: why are we still choosing traditional motorcycles for everyday touring? Before we go any further, it is important to clarify that detailed official specifications for a 2026 Burgman 650 should be treated cautiously unless Suzuki confirms them. But that uncertainty is precisely what makes the idea so fascinating. Imagine a next-generation Burgman, combining the huge road presence of a touring motorcycle with the convenience of a scooter, modern electronics, sharper styling, stronger performance, improved fuel efficiency, and technology designed for riders who want to travel hundreds of kilometers without feeling exhausted. The result could be something dramatically different from the typical scooter sitting in a showroom today. And if Suzuki really has plans to revive the spirit of the Burgman 650, competitors may have a serious problem on their hands. This wouldn't simply be another scooter update. It could be a declaration that MAXI scooters are ready for their next chapter. The first thing that would grab your attention is the design. Forget the soft, conservative appearance associated with older generation MAXI scooters. A modern Burgman could arrive with a much more aggressive personality, featuring a slim LED lighting signature, aerodynamic bodywork, sharper panels, a sculpted front fairing, and a silhouette that looks ready to attack the highway. Suzuki could retain the unmistakable Burgman DNA while making the machine look considerably more futuristic. Picture a wide front end designed to provide wind protection, integrated turn signals, a large touring screen, muscular side panels, and a long, flowing rear section that gives the scooter a premium appearance. The proportions would remain substantial because this is supposed to be a serious touring machine, but the design could visually communicate that it is lighter and faster than its size suggests. Even the wheels could receive a more modern treatment, while premium paint and metallic finishes could push the Burgman into a higher-end category. And then there is the exhaust, which could be neatly integrated rather than dominating the side of the machine. The biggest surprise, however, might be how Suzuki balances luxury and aggression. The Burgman has never needed to pretend it is a race bike. Its appeal comes from effortless speed and comfort. A 2026 redesign could embrace that identity while giving the scooter enough attitude to turn heads wherever it goes. Now let's talk about the part that could make this machine genuinely exciting: the engine. The name Burgman 650 immediately brings expectations, because the previous Burgman 650 became famous for its relatively large displacement, parallel twin engine, and unusual transmission technology. If Suzuki were to revive the 650 concept for 2026, riders would naturally expect a modern powertrain that delivers strong acceleration without sacrificing the smooth character that makes a MAXI scooter so enjoyable. Whether Suzuki retains a similar displacement, develops a revised engine, or chooses a completely new architecture would be a major story in itself. The important point is that the next-generation machine would need to deliver effortless performance rather than simply chase a huge horsepower number. Imagine twisting the throttle from a stop and feeling the scooter surge forward smoothly, with no clutch lever and no traditional gear changes demanding your attention. On an open highway, that relaxed power delivery could allow the rider to cruise comfortably while keeping plenty of acceleration available for overtaking. A modern engine could also benefit from updated fuel injection, revised combustion technology, reduced internal friction, and emissions equipment designed for contemporary regulations. If Suzuki manages to combine strong torque, quiet operation, and respectable fuel economy, the Burgman could once again occupy a fascinating middle ground between a premium scooter and a full-size touring motorcycle. And then comes the feature that has always made the Burgman 650 particularly interesting: its transmission. A future generation Burgman would have an enormous opportunity to redefine what riders expect from a scooter drivetrain. Instead of forcing riders to think about shifting, the machine could provide an incredibly smooth automatic experience while offering selectable riding characteristics. Imagine having a comfortable touring mode for long-distance cruising, a sharper sport mode for winding roads, and perhaps an economy setting for city riding and fuel conservation. The rider could simply select the desired character and let the electronics handle the rest. If Suzuki developed a more advanced continuously variable transmission or another automated system, the goal would be simple: instant, predictable power with minimal effort. That could make the Burgman particularly attractive to riders who love motorcycles but don't necessarily want to manage a clutch and conventional gearbox every time they enter heavy traffic. And don't underestimate how important that is. A machine can be powerful, beautiful, and technologically advanced. But if it becomes exhausting after 2 hours, riders will eventually leave it in the garage. The Burgman concept has always been about reducing that fatigue. A 2026 version could take that philosophy much further. Comfort could become the true secret weapon of the new Burgman. Picture a wide, deeply cushioned seat designed for both rider and passenger. Generous legroom, a relaxed riding position, substantial wind protection, and suspension tuned specifically for long-distance travel. This is where a maxi-scooter can deliver an experience that conventional motorcycles sometimes struggle to match. There is no need to lean forward aggressively, no need to squeeze a fuel tank between your knees, and no requirement to constantly move your feet between controls. Instead, the rider can settle into the cockpit and focus on the road ahead. A redesigned Burgman could also feature an adjustable windscreen, heated grips, heated seats, multiple storage compartments, and an enormous underseat luggage area. Imagine finishing work on Friday afternoon, loading a weekend's worth of gear underneath the seat, putting on your helmet and simply riding away. No panniers required. No top box required. No complicated luggage straps. That practicality is one of the biggest reasons maxi-scooters remain so appealing. A machine that can handle commuting during the week and touring on the weekend doesn't need to be two motorcycles. It can be one incredibly versatile machine. Technology would almost certainly play a much larger role in a modern Burgman. A 2026 generation model could be expected to feature a large color TFT display, smartphone connectivity, navigation integration, Bluetooth communication support, and a redesigned control interface. Instead of staring at a collection of traditional analog gauges, riders could have essential information presented clearly on a high-resolution screen. Speed, fuel level, engine information, riding mode, navigation directions, outside temperature, and connectivity status could all be available without overwhelming the rider. Depending on what Suzuki ultimately chooses, advanced rider assistance systems could also become part of the package. Traction control would make particular sense on a powerful maxi scooter, while ABS would be essential for confident braking in changing road conditions. Cornering-sensitive electronics could potentially provide another layer of assistance. A sophisticated cruise control system would also transform highway riding, especially if the Burgman is designed as a serious touring machine. Imagine settling into a long highway journey, activating cruise control, adjusting the windscreen, and simply enjoying the scenery. That is the kind of experience that could separate a premium maxi scooter from an ordinary commuter scooter. But the 2026 Burgman couldn't just be comfortable, it would need to handle. One of the biggest challenges for a large scooter is making its size feel manageable once the road starts twisting. Suzuki could address this with a redesigned chassis, optimized weight distribution, upgraded suspension, and stronger braking hardware. The objective wouldn't necessarily be razor-sharp supersport handling. Instead, the machine should feel stable at highway speeds while remaining predictable through corners and easy enough to maneuver in urban environments. A high-quality fork and rear suspension system could provide a more controlled ride over rough surfaces, while larger brakes would help manage the machine's mass during emergency stops. Modern tires could also deliver improved grip in both wet and dry conditions. And because maxi scooters are often used in cities, low-speed balance would be just as important as high-speed stability. A smart chassis design could make the Burgman feel surprisingly light once it starts moving. That combination, stable enough for the highway, agile enough for the city, and comfortable enough for long-distance travel, could become one of the strongest arguments for buying it. Of course, fuel economy would be another major part of the story. A large displacement scooter has to justify its engine size in a world increasingly focused on efficiency. If Suzuki can improve combustion efficiency while maintaining strong performance, the Burgman could offer an impressive touring range. A large fuel tank combined with efficient engine management could mean fewer fuel stops during long journeys, and that's more important than it sounds. When you're traveling across a country, every additional fuel stop interrupts the rhythm of the trip. A machine that can travel farther between stops becomes a genuinely better touring vehicle. Suzuki could also use lightweight materials and aerodynamic optimization to reduce unnecessary fuel consumption. The bodywork could be shaped to cut through the air efficiently, while the engine and transmission could be tuned to keep revs low during steady cruising. The result could be a machine that feels powerful when you ask for acceleration but settles into a relaxed, economical character when you're simply covering distance. That's exactly the kind of dual personality a Burgman needs. Then there is the practicality that could make the 2026 Burgman impossible to ignore. Underseat storage could remain one of its biggest advantages, potentially swallowing a helmet, riding gear, groceries, or travel equipment depending on the final design. Additional glove compartments could provide convenient spaces for phones, charging cables, keys, and small items. A USB charging system would make sense for modern riders, while a smart key system could eliminate the need to constantly remove a conventional key. Parking convenience could also be improved with a redesigned center stand or electronic assistance, although the final configuration would depend entirely on Suzuki's engineering choices. For commuters, these details matter enormously. You don't buy a maxi scooter just because it looks good. You buy it because you want transportation that works every day. Rain, traffic, shopping, highway travel, weekend adventures. The machine needs to handle all of it. If Suzuki manages to preserve that practicality while introducing a dramatically more sophisticated platform, the Burgman name could become relevant to an entirely new generation of riders. And finally, imagine the bigger question: who exactly would buy this machine? The answer could be much broader than you think. It could attract experienced riders who want touring comfort without giving up performance. It could appeal to commuters who are tired of struggling with manual transmissions in stop-and-go traffic. It could attract older riders looking for a motorcycle that is easier to operate while still providing serious road capability. It could even appeal to younger riders who grew up expecting smartphones, automatic technology, and convenience to be part of everything they use. That makes the potential 2026 Burgman 650 particularly interesting. It wouldn't need to beat every sport bike or every touring motorcycle. It would simply need to become the best version of itself. If Suzuki delivers modern styling, strong performance, exceptional comfort, advanced electronics, impressive storage, and effortless automatic operation, this machine could turn the maxi scooter category into a conversation again. The biggest question is whether Suzuki will actually bring the legendary 650 formula back in this form. Until official specifications and availability are confirmed, every detail should be treated as speculation rather than fact. But if the rumored idea of an all-new Burgman 650 becomes reality, one thing is certain: the maxi scooter world could be about to get very interesting. And if Suzuki really is preparing a comeback, the question isn't whether riders will notice, the question is whether competitors are ready for it.